as usual, before we get started on the stream, I just want to thank everyone who followed since the last one. Sapphire Sun Ivor, HX Mo, LG Flora, Natilda, and Sarius Labs. Thank you guys for the follows. I appreciate it a whole lot. And we're going to be back we're going to be up in just a couple seconds. So actually just kind of stay here and burn time at 3 and 2 and 1. Hello everyone, and welcome to Ludo History. You might notice there's an empty screen right now. There's a reason for this. There's an opening cinematic that I want everyone to watch, but we will be there very soon. Let me just move that, and we will throw right into it, and then I will kind of introduce the game. So, loading up. We'll see how it goes. Please work. Please don't break on me. I believe in you. Streamlabs, don't do it. It didn't do it.
The Last Crusade waits.
Question mark Crusade?
Brave warrior sets off in a funeral ship. Sacred ritual ended with a farewell song. Holy flame destroyed all earthly ties. The gods wait in their chambers, but short paths are not meant for the brave.
And
Demons, ancient lords of deceit, abducted the soul floating quietly toward Asgard. With faithful
hey, look, there's a horned helmet.
fate in his hands, he enters Niffelheim, the harsh land of ancient spirits.
So, welcome to Niffelheim. Where to begin? Crusade question mark I think is probably a good place to begin. Because Crusade question mark. Crusade just seemed to be a synonym for battle in that instead of a very specific cultural context. But it ends up unintentionally framing the Norse diaspora as kind of a conflict of religions, and therefore a fundamental conflict of, like, culture clash, and thereby linking it to the historical Crusades. That's kinda yikes, not gonna lie, but, you know, this game knows what it wants to be, and historically accurate is none of those things, so we won't think about it too hard. And Dragonwolf, there's a reason you have never seen it written that way. Because that is just not how it's spelled. That's not even close to how it's spelled. It is Niflheim. In Old Norse, that would make it Niflheim or Niflheim, 2 syllables. In Modern Icelandic, it's actually Niflheim, with a P sound instead of an F, because Modern Icelandic did that for some reason. It's weird. Anyway, look at how much there is to talk about with just this one thing. What is this in the back here supposed to be? What are these statues? Why are they dragons? Scale mail question mark? Random gemstone on the tip there? Just bear claws, just hanging out. This is actually kind of vaguely referencing, like, I mean, apart from the idea of Vikings must wear fur to be cool, it would vaguely be referencing the argument that the Ulfhevnar would wear actual bear skins to denote their rank, but I am of the opinion that they probably never existed, so, like, meh, it looks cool. This game goes hard into the stereotypes, and then also goes hard into left field after the stereotypes, so we'll hop straight in. Genre-wise, you may know I started it just to see what was going on, played for like only a little while, but you know, horned helmets. Oh, Cossack, the word Nif means mist, literally, but kind of gets through like synecdoche, becomes associated with just cold, but literally it's mist home, so the cold vapor is coming off of it, and then inside of it is Niffelheim as a deep part of hell, and that word actually shows up as part of one of the most famous names of the Norse mythological corpus. You probably know it in its Germanic form of Nibelung, thanks to Wagner, Der Ring des Nibelungen. In Norse, it is Niflungar, which literally means like the mistlings. They're neat. Anyway, so we can choose which place we want to live in. You can see the map vaguely here. There's like a central town, and then 4 little bits, 3 and 4 up here. So we have the ancient Bear Mound. Mountain terrain with rocks and ice as far as the eye can see, covered with cold mist. The land is rich with small animals which attract wolves and other predators in great numbers. Dragon, I don't know of really any cases where Niflheim is portrayed as really hot. Can you list them? Because, like, Niflheim is supposed to be cold. Muspelheim is its opposite, and that's the one that's really hot. The one-eyed wolf forest. Harsh, dark woods covered with snow and ice. Wild animals roam this land rich with sweet berries and mushrooms. More of the desert eagle. Deadly swamps covered with thick fog, where birds hide from ambushing predators. And the ice dragon wasteland. Desert land surrounded by mountain peaks. Huge dry grass harbors large predators and their numerous prey. This is all patently ridiculous, and there is nothing creative to say about it because it's just things. Let's try the ancient Bear Mound just to see, because I don't know. And then we'll add these guys as just kind of opponents. It does actually give them generic names. You can remove the bots. Oh, cool. Actually, they're set names. So we have Floki, Eirik, and Olav. Olav is one I actually like being here. What happens if I remove the bot and make it me? Who is the opponent here? Is also Floki. Okay. Olav I like here because Olav is known for being like having the greatest Drakar, or dragon ship, in the Norse world. Belongs to Olafur Tryggvason, and so him being associated with a dragon is actually kind of cool. Floki being Hrapna Floki, the first person to overwinter in Iceland and the one who named it because he landed in the Westfjords near a glacier and decided that it sucked. And Eirik, obviously Eirikr in Raiði, Eirik the Red, discoverer and first chieftain of Greenland. So, you know, giving them very good generic Viking Age important people names. I have no complaints with that. But now you can see our people. The art style is whack. So, it's super whack. Super buff. Everyone is incredibly buff, but they all skipped leg day. I don't really know what to make of it. And also, I don't know what all of these actually do. Well, the 2 and the 3 here, I have no idea what they do. Meh. Anyway, a Viking. He is an experienced fighter, hardened by countless sea expeditions. He stands firm on a healing deck, under a cloud of arrows and in melee combat. He relies on his weapons and finds his way out of any situation. Valkyrie. She is the daughter of a legendary warrior who has dedicated her life to fighting. Her sisters in arms become her family. Priestesses and prophetesses instruct her in forbidden secrets. Berserker. Relying on his divine patron, Odin, the Berserker is strong beyond measure and fearless and strikes terror in the hearts of his enemies. The price for this is high. He is an outcast from society, warmed only by fierce battle, living in constant anticipation of a fight. Or Shaman. He set out on a campaign for fame and fortune, but not on a Drakar with a loyal squad. His allies are ancient spirits and elementals. And not every Asgard dweller dares set foot on the paths he walks. So, you know, just generally a big old thonk, for... Exactly. Forbidden secrets are like bread and butter for, like, Odin and everything he did. No. Let me just be clear, this is... Well, there's occasional interesting things here. Most of this is ridiculous. This is a very, like, euhemerized idea of the Valkyrie. Almost looks more like Hervir from Agantira from Hervarar Saga instead of any attested Valkyrie in its description. The visual aesthetic is nonsense. We're just not going to touch it, just except that it is very pulpy and very schlocky, and we go from there. But yes, the idea of forbidden secrets, Seithr is socially outcast, but not me. Berserker is the one I actually like the most of this whole thing. Almost. So, the idea of a Berserker being attached to Odin specifically comes to us from Snorri Sturluson in Ynglinga Saga. So not from the Prose Edda, which he also wrote, but from his History of the Kings of Norway, and its first text, Ynglinga Saga, in which Odin are the bodyguards. And thank you, Lunar Reveries, for the follow there. I hope you are enjoying this. But yes, these guys are... Interesting. Oh, that must be defense and strength, because, yeah. Odd. Okay. Anyway, he depicts them as, like, the personal retinue of the human, the human figure who's masquerading as a god, Odin. But he also says that they wear, like, no armor and work themselves into a frenzy and, like, go running around naked into battle. We should not trust Snorri on this, but what is cool is that, by and large, when Berserkir do appear in the sagas, and they are fictional, they are a saga literary fiction, they do almost universally appear as marginal figures who exist on the borders of society, and they go around causing trouble. Your saga hero either needs to defeat them because they were brought into a royal court for a reason, and they have now become unruly and are the king is trying to kill them off, as happened in Hross Saga Kraka, or they are just going around causing trouble, and the hero of that particular episode needs to find some way to outsmart and or kill them, as happened in Njal Saga and in Grettis Saga, among many others. So, the idea of being an outcast I like. The idea of being associated with Odin is attested, though Berserkir are probably a fiction. They probably, like, didn't exist. But, you know, that's okay. Let's play as one, though, rather than play as... Actually, chat, who do you want me to play as? I'll play as any of these, though I will be bad at all of them, so who do you want me to be? I've got one vote for Valkyrie. I've got 2 votes for Valkyrie. Nor Samus run. Any other votes? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going Valkyrie. Also, I have no idea who these demon lords are supposed to be, because as far as there is a ruler of Niffelheim, it is Hel, who is 1, and that's not Valkyrie. Stop it. Luckily, we can just go back to the menu, because apparently it didn't register it. Delete. Go. But, no. Take 2. I'm bad. Oh, I'm still bad. I have no idea what buttons are anymore. It has been a long day. Ah, they changed it. It's now Bjorn and Sigurd. Valkyrie. Start. Take 2. Anyway, these Lords of the Dead, with their very traditional-looking European swords, yeah, just don't exist. They're a fiction made up for the game. Anyway, look at this genre. This is what I would call a stressful survival sim. There are chill survival sims, and then there are not chill survival sims. This is solidly in the not chill. So, you know, something like Spiritfarer or Stardew Valley, you would say, is kind of like it's technically a management like survival-y game, but practically speaking, no. Practically speaking, it's not. There we go. Die, thank you. Yes, I just told the chicken to die repeatedly. Don't worry about it. And yes, thank you, Vel, for blessed Grey Lord Nido content. Because we always need blessed Grey Lord Nido content. Anyway, this game generically is really heavily inspired by Kingdom. Specifically, I think the best example is probably what would it be? I mean, Kingdom Classic is the original one, but from all of its other versions too, wherein each day things get a little bit harder for you, and each day you need to go around either going into dungeons or collecting resources, and you know, you're slowly going to run out of oomph while you do that. So you need to keep making progress, because if you don't, monsters will spawn at night and eventually will attack your settlement and cause problems all around the whole place. And the way you collect resources is by horribly murdering everything. So we're just gonna hunt down this poor sheep that did nothing wrong, and we're gonna commit bloody murder on it. If this all looks a little bit ridiculous to you, it should. Actually, this one I think does have a way to win. I don't know entirely what it is, but it exists. Oh, I have no arrows. Interesting. And we're gonna beat up a hedgehog, which for some reason the hedgehog drops acorns. We have no rope to make any of those, so we'll see into building here. Cool, we already have enough stuff to upgrade that to a 2nd level. And as you can see, it gets stronger. Anyway, who is this? Hello there, brave warrior. My name's Hugh, and I've got some advice for you. First off, don't be depressed. The foggy banks of Asgard need you more than the halls of Valhalla. Secondly, even after death, you shouldn't ignore your health. These little partridges are a great source of protein, and the same goes for those eggs. Tasty. I wouldn't mind having a few of those eggs myself, if you know what I mean. Okay, so that's Helion, fought in the form of a raven. Okay, 3 timbers, and we get an axe out of it. I can do that. I think I can do that. Okay, not what I wanted to do, but that's fine. This is all fine. Anyway, yes, this is extremely ridiculous, and so it's leaning quite hard into the whole, you know, do murders thing, and Vikings are violent and engage with the world through and exclusively by violence. And I think actually the way we win is we collect enough stuff that if we go in here, we meet a person here who will give us a scroll to open this portal. And here comes my dear guest. It's not often I see a new face here at the end of nowhere. Let me take a look at you, hero of Niffelheim. Bah, don't act so surprised, I know a lot. I've already forgotten more than you will ever learn, and still remember a lot more. Do the old lady a favor and find me a bread. As your reward, I'll tell you the story of this place, and therefore my story. So, who this is, kind of has to be, a CRS or a Vilva. The reason why I say that, is that in multiple poems, both implied at the beginning of Völuspá and in Baldur's Drömr, the Dream of Baldur, Odin raises a CRS from the dead near the gates of hell in order to ask questions about the future. And so that this person is filling this role, which means that they at least have some awareness of the Eddas when they are going into this, which is kind of neat. Anyway, take a look at how ridiculous this aesthetic is. It is very schlocky. You got horned helmets, and skulls and shields, and halberds, and gigantic swords, and, you know, banners in old rusted halls, and a skull gate up here. It is comically, absolutely, exaggerated beyond any sort of belief or sanity. This is okay. I mean, you want to see me be mad about it? I can happily be mad about it, because 90% of what is in this room is completely ahistorical, and most of it is nonsense. But you may notice it looks an awful lot like Conan the Barbarian. This is not accidental. This is in fact actually a feature. Not a bug. Oh, cool, I got feathers. Thank you. And that is kind of a core part of the cultural memory of the Vikings, is actually having been associated with Conan and with Pulp Fiction. In the early 20th century, that's kind of a core part in the post-Wagner tradition, after Wagner makes the idea of the whole premise of horned helmet, ridiculous Vikings, incredibly popular. Huh, it's nighttime. Then, I don't have another weapon. I know I can switch weapons, but I don't have another one. Cool, I need rabbit's hide and I'll get a hunter's harness off of it. So that's neat. We'll grab those, and then off we go. I don't think there's any reason to teleport, I'm not that far from home. So I'm just going to go back into my hall here, and then we'll get really ridiculous. Anyway, so again, also the aesthetic here of the Valkyrie with being very exaggerated and insufficiently armored for the vitals known as your heart. The boo window is strong, and let's see, what can we improve? We can add walls. We could add the walls, I don't think we want to add the walls yet. And so, yeah, this is coming out of a very specific aesthetic of Conan and Pulp Fiction from the early 20th century. And it makes sense, and is honestly, I'm cool with it, that these are the aesthetic that this goes for. Now, as I said, this is a survival game. And being a survival game, it does frickin' weird things. Like, having a mechanical sawmill in a Viking aesthetic, and a safe with a number pad. A mechanical locked safe with a crappy sword in it. And that's the thing it's got. Let's see, we are missing the building stones. Cool. So, you know, and here we go full steampunk, and as it grows, it will get more and more steampunky. Because of course it will. And we have our trophies here, and this does look like straight up, you know, Conan with a dragon skull and these giant horns sitting on his throne saying that we shall, slaughter their men and make their women and children weep, etc., etc. You know, the only thing this is missing is, a actual skull cup, which is a thing that is attested in Paul the Deacon's History of the Longobards. Made up. He's just making stuff up, but you know, that's okay. He's that is the confusion, and completely making stuff up is kind of a core part of the experience, so whatever. So this is a survival sim with all of its annoyingness, and that means there's a lot of resource gathering. And so you, despite are a warrior who is a warrior first and foremost, but also does all of this stuff, you know, I don't think it's necessarily meaningful to go and nitpick that, you know, like, this is ridiculous, because being a raider is a job, and you did not freely move back and forth between being a raider and being other things at a whim. Why is there a queue here? Yes, queue? Nope. No sense of queue. Okay. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, there are giant spiders. We'll get to them eventually, maybe. Probably. We'll probably die to them. A lot. Because I do that. I die all the time to these things. Because I am not good at this game. And being a stressful management sim, they care about making it stressful for you. And yeah, there is coal, and the whole thing, it just doesn't get more accurate from here. It's all completely patently ridiculous. And yet, while I am making fun of it a little bit here, and while going, you know, like, this is so obviously ridiculous that no one believes it, but on the other hand, this is a core part of, like, the cultural memory and the pop cultural idea of what Vikings are, is infinitely, perpetually influenced by this. And, you know, there's kind of being incredibly burly and solving problems with violence and being incredibly handy in a situation, and we just went through one pick, so that's where we're gonna call it a day for mining here. And you see some things that we are seeing elsewhere in this. So for instance, you know, shield maidens. Shield maidens apparently exist because this woman sure is one, I guess, by some metric of shield maiden. Don't question it too much. But there we go. Look at that furnace with these hinged opening blast iron doors and grates that do things. And our first piece of armor. Heck yes. Primitive bone harness. Okay, we can make coal, but we have plenty of it already. Look at how much stuff you can make. Look at how much, absolutely how much stuff you can make. So much stuff. It goes full in on the whole ridiculous nonsense of... Oh, cool. We leveled up a few times. Interesting. We got more health as we leveled up, and so now we are at 120 health. But we'll see when we die, because it is a when, not an if. We will be punished for our hubris with reduced health and reduced stamina. Okay. I need to turn my things into boards. Fine. So, there are like 4 crafting stations in this game. There is a sawmill. There is... Oh, I don't need that. Craft. Give me a board. Yeah, so it takes 3 things to make, oh, I need wool and tar. Okay. It takes 3 boards to make, or 3 logs to make 2 boards in this game. So this is what I mean by it being, oh, come on, see? This is what I mean by it being a stressful management sim. Because if you've ever been anywhere around a saw, that's not how that works. It's just not. So it is interesting, I guess, that is what they decided to do. But you know, it's not truly all that surprising. Nope, please don't freak out, game. Oh yeah, also gunpowder exists in this Viking game. Gunpowder exists in a lot of Viking games, and I don't know why, given that you know, that's not sensible. How do you get away with Vikings existing, or how do you get away with gunpowder existing in a Vikings game? Just think about it for like 2 and a bit seconds, and you should notice the problem. Yeah, I don't like management sims, SDS. Hello, a gallon of milk. I super don't like them because I find them, unfun. Cool, we get feathers. Or I should say, I don't like this particular kind of one because I find it, well, frankly, boring. Because what is the... and it's... forces you to have too much to do all the time and not in an enjoyable way. Anyway, you can sit on a throne like Conan and lounge and you will heal. And we'll kill this sheep, who takes a lot of hits, because sheep are bulky. I missed. I missed again. Excuse me? No. Hello? That took a long time. So then we gather a bunch more resources, and look at this. I'm just kind of spamming button presses as like the main thing to be doing. So we can go. I thought we had arrows. So, oh yeah. Also armor. We have that. You need a helmet, a breastplate, pauldrons, a belt, gloves, this thing that is definitely Roman, and then boots. And you can put them on and, oh look, still has a boot window, because apparently that's a thing. There's our arrows. We have ranged attacks, and so we can use them to, shoot rabbits. I know, apparently they don't have... Can I shoot the... I cannot shoot the thing. Okay. But yeah, so the modus operandi of this is very much, you are trying to survive in a harsh land, but the way you survive is by committing as much violence as possible, as quickly as possible. And that is well, that is way super duper common in the context of barbarian savage, oh, okay. I guess you could just miss the thing at your feet. That's cool. It is not, the best news in the world when that happens, because in the context of what you may have heard me talk about if you're on the overly sarcastic, Productions Discord server, or follow them on Twitter, you may have heard this take quite recently in the context of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, in which, oh yeah, also death priests. Don't worry about it, they just exist. They're fine, they're chill, mostly. Not all the time, but mostly. What's in here? This is like a witchwood thing. Yeah, Witch's Burrow. It's just an alchemical station, which we already have one of those, so, like, whatever. Oh, cool, we can make this, though. Let's make a few of these. Cool. And that will let us make rope, which will let us do more stuff. Yeah. Exactly, Vela. They're just, they're super polite, and they will honor code, and will just say, you don't have armor there? We won't take you there. Except that all combat in this game ends up looking like that. Literally, it's just stand there and spam the button at each other while your arm kind of flails around awkwardly. An attempt was made, I guess, maybe, if you stretch a bit. Oh yeah, everything is super slow. The getting into or the upgrading your everything. Oh, I just missed Munin, I think. That's okay. We're going to make rope. At a sawmill, because I guess that's where we make rope. We'll make 4 rope. We made 4 rope. Uh-huh. It super does. This is clearly not a very expensive game, and having these individually moving parts is, without a doubt, an efficient way. Oh, I need more twigs. Grr. If you say so. Welcome to the land of Fog Warrior. We don't know each other, but I believe you already met my brother Hugh, or was it Moon? Hugin Munin. Stupid names, I always forget who is who. But one thing I know for sure, I am the smarter one. Well, your mission here in Niffelheim is very complicated and dangerous, but you've already gotten used to danger, haven't you? I am amused by this, actually, because Munin is memory. And so, Munin, forgetting which raven is which, is a nice little joke. Even if it's a little bit, everything else about it is a bit, well, frankly, cheap. And there's nothing intrinsically bad about being... Oh, cool, I've got a chicken here, which will let me grow eggs. And we've got some seeds of stuff. Awesome. Now, if we drop this here, potentially... Oh, wait, that's another partridge, not a rooster. I want a rooster. That's just a partridge, but... the partridge didn't realize I was there for a while, apparently. Anyway, oh, sheep. Bye, sheep. You can't just shear the sheep, you must murder the sheep, which I think is indicative of stuff. That mound is scary. We're not gonna look at that mound, because that mound is super scary. Ooh, I can get honey off of these. Give me honey. Give me honey. And then we'll knock down this. Oh, it's nighttime apparently, because the things just vanished. Oh, huh. Are we totally out? No, we have another axe. Okay. I thought we were totally out of axes for a moment, and I was going to be confused. Yep, that is a good joke, and like, that's the thing. The developers of this game clearly have something that resembles an idea of how this, of, you know, what this game is and how it works. Oh, Hunter Quest. We give them a bunch of honey and we get a frog charm. Sure, I don't know what a frog charm does, but we can get it, I guess. Wait, didn't I just do that? Didn't I literally just turn in that quest? Hello? Did I turn in the quest? Yeah, I turned in the quest before I got the quest. And the game got confused a bit. The bear motives here I think are entirely because we are in the bear part of the game. Because I could choose to start in the bear part, the wolf part, the eagle part, or the dragon part. And so I think it is the bear part because we are in the bear part. And so there must be bears everywhere. That being said, they are apparently supposed to be for kind of animal or warrior animals. Of them, 2 of them actually are. The wolf and the eagle are what are termed beasts of battle in scholarship about Norse poetry and Norse, just general Norse scholarship. So alongside the raven, those are supposed to be. Why won't you pick up the thing? Okay, weird. The beasts of battle are supposed to be carrion things that will show up as a portent of battle and will partake in it in their feasting once it is done. So it's the wolf. It's typically the wolf, the eagle, and the raven. But there have been arguments that sometimes there are other things in that. Speaking of which, if we scroll over here, you can see I have 144 health. This wolf has 160. Wolves are scary, and I am not going to get anywhere near it. Because it will just murder my face, and there's very little I can do about it. Luckily, they only show up at night, so as long as I don't, as long as I'm not bad, I should be okay. Unfortunately, as we all know, I am not the best at the video game. So, make of that what you will. Anyway, we built a chicken coop. Or, no, we built a vegetable garden, sorry. Which lets us grow a pumpkin. Or a turnip. It's neat that it is kind of referenced. It is very loosely, vaguely, slightly, referencing the, idea that Norse people were way more than just Vikings, in some of the things they can let you do. But at the same time, clearly they know what is important, and it is piles of skulls with horned helmets. And dungeons. Hey look, it's a bear and a death priest. The death priest is a skeleton because everyone is actually secretly Charon. Or something, or the Grim Reaper, or pick your poison. Speaking of poison... spiders cannot actually poison me, luckily, but this cloud of noxious-looking goop can, and does, and it will just slowly bleed your health away while you stand in it. So, turns out the solution is to not stand in it. Meanwhile, this game is really heavily about dungeon crawling, but their dungeon design is pretty bad, to be honest. It's not the best look in the world, cause... Oh, yes. Appreciate this female voice. I did. Anyway, of course, because this is a management game, we have only a handful of things that you can put stuff in slots with. And you run out of those things, and then you can't do anything. And I guess this is good game design? I don't think it's good game design, but apparently it's good game design. Luckily, as with all of these games, you can cheat and stick your food in your consumable spots to open up some more open up some more room for all your stuff. Fenrir, Scotland Hati, Angeri, and Freki. Another set of 2 wolves. Thinking. None are coming to, actually, potentially, they're not truly a pair of wolves, they're more just temporarily in Wolfend, but Sigmundur and Sinfjotli in Volsunga Saga, there is one point within which, they, where they have a bad time and accidentally turn themselves into wolves, and you know that, and are running around like that for a while. Oh yeah, also that incredibly Norse dish of kashiatori. Just super Norse style, I promise. But yeah, so they, when they are exiled and trying to kill, Signy's, Sigmundur's twin sister, Signy, who is also Sinfjotli's mother, while Sigmundur is his father. It is pretty yikes. Anyway, well, they are... Okay, I can go down the... Oh, there's a chest over there. Let's go for the chest. I need chests. Shush, I don't... Get out of the poison and then we'll talk. Okay? Voila. Okay. So, when they are trying to go off and kill Sigurd, they run into a couple of bandits, and these bandits, quite helpfully, say that the best have these wolf skins that they wear at night, and Sigmundur and Sinfjotli put them on, being like, yeah, maybe this is a good idea. And spoilers, it was not a good idea. And so they get stuck in a wolf form for a while. Sinfjotli, they split up, and there's Sigmundur tells Sinfjotli of, don't be dumb. If you get into a fight of 10 people or more, howl and I will come bail you out, because even you can't take that much. Hello? Just randomly missing, okay. Sinfjotli, being a willful tween, decides that no, I can do it. I'm a big boy. I can don't need dad to bail me out of this. And tries to take on 11 of them and gets injured in the process. But it's like, no, I won. See, I won. Sigmundur takes this calmly and rationally as an adult human being and bites him on the neck and grievously injures Sinfjotli. Sigmundur, regretting this, wanders around trying to find something that will heal. That will heal Sinfjotli because Nope. Stop chasing me. I don't want you to chase me. I'm gonna go this way. And then it will stop chasing me. Eventually, Sigmundur finds a bird that goes and, using a certain leaf, brushes it over a wound of another bird and instantly heals it. Sigmundur then grabs that leaf and goes off to Sinfjotli and heals him, and then they both decide, quite rightly too, that, you know, maybe this is a bad idea, and these wolfskins are kind of terrible. Because they are. And they take off the wolfskins and they burn them and condemn them to hell for being satanic. And yes, the saga uses satanic. And we don't question it. Because we just don't. Oh. Okay. So I gotta go back down and then turn the other direction instead of running away like a coward. Okay. I have the power. That being said, I'm probably gonna die if I'm not careful, so I should be careful and make sure I don't die in poison. Because of course, this is a game wherein you just slowly lose resources until you die, and then you know, once you die, that's it, and you reset, and all of your stuff regrows. So what was that quest for? It was cone fungus from a rogue priest. Interesting. Okay, we just need to find that purple one, and then swap out some of our inventory to make that happen, or something. Anyway, I can't think of what other pair of wolves that I might be thinking of. So, that being said, if you say names, I may remember them. Another one that would be a, like, wolf dog thingy would be Guard, the wolf that will howl at the beginning of Ragnarok, and will end up killing Heimdallr. Of course, weapons have durability, and it is not very much, so I'm gonna have to deal with that at some point. Is there actually anything in this direction worth going for? No. No, there isn't. Okay, down we go. Away from the smoke. Hey, it's a healing spot. The healing spot lets me heal, and then I heal. Oh, okay, that name is interesting. What Managar? Oh wait, I want to stand in that for a little bit longer. Why do I recognize that name? It's not just Garm, the wolf I just mentioned. That is something specific. Oh, it's another name for Hauti. That's why. It's the wolf of the moon. And so that's another name for the one who will devour the moon, i.e. Hauti Hroðvitnisson. That is not the right mushroom. This goes no. Oh crap! I'm dead. Thanks, game. Very kind of you. Extremely cool to put. You know, I have the power. I have lots of health. I'm not going to fight this thing. I'm just going to run past it because running past it is a viable option and stuff. Run! Run faster! Ow. It worked great. Nothing bad happened. I'm shocked that worked, to be honest. These guys just got a little bit harder. Meanwhile, is there actually anything useful anywhere? No. 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 There's... Look at how huge these dungeons are. And look at how boring these dungeons are. All of this, and there's absolutely nothing valuable of note in the whole thing. And yeah, this is supposed to be a core mechanic, is dungeon crawling. Because how else are you supposed to defeat the evils of Niffelheim if you don't do stuff? Like, I don't want to diss this game too much because, of course, this is clearly not working on a large budget. But at the same time, no, don't run that way. The poison does the most damage of everything. The loot here is in no way, shape, or form, except for, you know, that helmet. None of what we are getting here is truly actually worth the time or energy. And we can make stuff if we have things, like if we capture a piglet, we can make a portion. And they do stuff. We need a rabbit and magic essence and yeah. Cool. We will eventually die, and yep, I'm gonna lose my sword, and then I will be weaponless. Which is probably not a great thing to be in the middle of a dungeon, but meh. We're 10 layers deep, may as well keep going, right? Ow. Run. Run. Thank you. Oh, that's a dead end. Well, that's awkward. And, of course, yeah, this whole thing's a dead end. Cool. I'm gonna have to just wait for this to, do stuff, I guess? Yeah. I am close to death, so I'm sure this will go. Yep, map? E. Teleport. Luckily, it costs almost no money, to get the hell out of town, and then eat food. And hopefully that, upgrades my oomph enough to where it won't matter. Or restores enough health that I can kind of limp my way home. If not, I will have to do the terrible thing of eat a pumpkin. Because pumpkins give health in this game. Because pumpkins are good. It is the season. It is Spooktober. And so we shall indulge in great red pumpkins. So, anyway, I think for a bit there I was trying to say something interesting and coherent about kind of the impact of this sort of game on, or of this whole aesthetic on pop cultural ideas of the Vikings. And I think it's worth going into that because obviously, while this game, like, it knows what it wants to be, and it is totally fine with that, and it is a good thing. Oh, crap. Hello? Would you attack? Instead of, doing dumb stuff that gets you killed? Thank you. Actually, I don't want to collect these, because it is making that, and I don't want to disrupt it. Anyway, we will enter our own workshops here. And in entering them, we will limp our way all the way over to where we can sit down for a bit. And then I will talk in front of the list of the big wall of things. Because obviously, like, this has it has some basis in having read the Eddas at some point. But it is overall not based in anything that would actually resemble Norse mythology or historical Norse culture. That is okay. But it does have make a certain argument about what sorts of activities are Viking, and that is exploring barrows or some kind of dungeon, and that is committing violence upon the entire natural landscape, and that is fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, and the only thing that matters is how good you are at fighting. And to that end, you have this very almost like studio, like, I would almost lean so far with like this style to be a little bit like, I mean, it's more Conan than it is Studio Ghibli, but how Studio Ghibli does the same thing wherein you have mechanics equal war equal bad, is very much related to this thing, except is mechanical things equals instruments of war equals good. And this development, I mean, I've started it a few times, but to some extent we can start with Richard Wagner and his operas, but more importantly, how massively, incredibly successful they were globally, from Japan to around through Europe to the United States. They are one of the most successful pieces of thing. Okay, stop. Of thing you can possibly imagine for the 19th century, and that has a huge influence on people starting to create pulp fiction in magazines and then in little books in the early 20th century. Mashed pumpkin. Okay, I need more pumpkin for that. We can make more porcini. We can make more egg. We can make more turnip. And we can make beans. Voila, we are good at cooking. No, it's not weird that you know the aesthetic of the opera more than the plot, because the aesthetic has become incredibly influential, and I mean, you're still seeing it here. Carl Emil... Oh. Awkward. Carl Emil Depler's character sketches are still some of the most successful things you can possibly imagine in the creation of... Okay, I need more twigs. No, I don't... Darkness, horror, doom. My nest on Yggdrasil was blown away by the wind from the realm of the dead. I need some brushwood, quick. Bring me 2 dozen sticks, i.e. 3. But no. No, I will not. 2 dozen and 3 are now the same number. I'm sure that's how math works. I should not be running around doing stuff. I should be dropping things in a chest. But yeah, Carl Emil Depler creates the first horned helmets, as far as we can find, in his character sketches for Hunding, and Hunding, the antagonist of one of the plot things, and his men have this aesthetic, and so it's not at all weird that it becomes incredibly influential, because it just is. The aesthetic of that opera is something we still feel to this day all over the place. So it's not really at all weird that you would recognize that more than the actual plot of the operas. Anyway, so this super influential structure ends up being present from fairly soon afterwards all over Viking media. Quote. And that includes Pulp Fiction, because one of the... Oh, actually, I want to check something, because I should have in here a stick trap. The stick trap, I'm sure, does not actually hold one of these, but I want a rooster. Those are both chickens. I need a rooster. Because roosters let me grow feathers, which I need for stuff. And yes, we once again we gather wool by murdering the sheep, rather than by anything remotely sensible. Anyway, yeah, it absolutely, like, the gods have wings, and the other guys have, the bad guys have horns, and the whole thing kind of makes sense. The problem is that then everyone gets horns from pretty early productions of Wagner. Like, the original drawings don't have that, but by the turn of the century, productions of Wagner do. So, like, you tried, but the horned helmets were just too cool. Oh, just casually miss. Ow. Okay, why do bees do 10 damage? Anyone wanna answer why bees do all of the damage? Wow, and not a single rooster to be found. Not a one. Thank you. Good answer. Anyway, this aesthetic, yeah, Howard is explicitly drawing on it in his Conan stories, because Howard, contrary to what he would say about how Conan sprung into his mind fully formed, he was incredibly well read and very carefully read in building Hyperborea and Atlantis, and this whole drawing on a huge network of nationalist ideas about the northern world and constructing it, and part of that is Wagner's influence. And you can see in artwork from the Conan novels just how ridiculously influential it is, where you suddenly have, oh, okay, my sword just broke. I guess I will kick a frog. I'll have to make new weapons, which is not necessarily what I wanted to do right now. Anyway, let's at least build the chicken coop, I guess. I could build a sheepfold, but I think I'll build the chicken coop first. And then we enter that. And we can make an egg. Anyway, I need to go into the mines, because I need to get iron in order to build things that aren't bad. I guess I'll build a club for the meantime, just in case I get into trouble. We'll build that. And then we will build that. And then we'll go back into the mines, because that's just what we do here. Anyway, I guess I still don't have a cone fungus, so we can do that. Yes, anyway. I don't remember what the name of the artist is, but there's one particular, like, one really famous Conan artist, where everyone is super naked, and everyone is super buff, and everyone has horned helmets. And that is just part of the aesthetic. I mean, even in the 1984 in the movie, as utterly schlocky as the Schwarzenegger movie is, you do see that really quite clearly. And so, the influence tracks its way cleanly right through, and since Conan, being an outsider, travels to a lot of lands with a quote-unquote higher technological level than his native. No, why is it full again? I don't like when it's full. I'll have to leave that behind for a moment so I can stick stuff in a chest. Grr, 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 grr. Could stuff go away so I don't have to deal with it being frustrating? Those are useless. These can just store there. This is totally useless. The rock salt is totally useless. Wool, I don't really have anything useful to deal with. I will stick the quadrillion pumpkins in. Pine cones can go there because we have so many pine cones and nothing to use them on. I have no idea what you do with pine cones. Anyway, that should free up enough space. It did. And yeah, Conan is, you know, it is not free of ideology. Pulp Fiction was not free of ideology, and it was not free from problematic everything. Just ask, you know, H.P. Lovecraft. He was writing in pulp magazines. But, anyway, the aesthetic and the image of the brutality of this kind of wanderer outcast group, from which you can get all sorts of ideas of nobility and virtue and let me just check that this is coal. That's coal. So I just want to go deep in order to find... That is copper. I don't care about copper. I want iron. Is this iron or is this coal? This is coal. There's iron. Found it. Because I need iron for everything. Not least being another sword. Because... Really? It didn't give me any iron off of that? Okay. Fine, that one should be iron, and then this one is hopefully iron. Oh hey, there's more iron there. Thank you. And 6 out of 10 toadstools for a bunch of money. Okay. Now that I've got it, it unlocks that quest forever, so I can collect resources and then spend them. But yeah, Conan is not unproblematic. It is actually quite problematic in that it like leans into some super like pseudoscience-y ideas. One that's particularly durable in the context of the Vikings is the idea of European phenotypes, which, as you might guess from the word phenotypes and, you know, how obviously that is... Oh hey, it's a porcupine. I don't actually know if porcupines are aggressive. Porcupines are not aggressive. Also, it's a porcupine, and I don't know what it's doing in the middle of a mine, but, you know, fair play to it, I guess. Yeah, so these ideas emerge in the a little bit early, no, first roots are in the 1830s, and then they show up in the 1870s in more oomph. And the idea is that Europe can be divided into 3 groups. You have Nordic people, who are obviously good. Alpine people, or so literally people from the Alps, who are alright, we guess. And then we have Mediterranean people, who are the worst of the European people, though they are still better than all the not-European people. This group includes Italians, and Greeks, and the Irish. Don't think too hard about that one. Hey, Raptorus! Rant Hollow was boring. This time it was truly Excalibur and Vinland exists. and you know, Excalibur in my Vikings game. But yes, currently we are talking about Pulp's influences and some of the unfortunately problematic things that Pulp leaned into on constructing its something like Conan's faux European world. And yeah, each of these phenotypes has innate qualities that are definitely innate and make the Irish Mediterranean so that they can be bad. Anyway, I am unfortunately out of picks with which to mine things, so I'll have to like walk away and do stuff. I'll just return to the castle because I've got a lot of money and my time is valuable. Yes, Mediterranean Irish. It is exactly as ludicrous as it sounds. And yeah, they exist, and cool, I can upgrade that. And I upgraded it and it gets more bits. Look at how steampunky it is. It just has so many random bits. And it is, you know, very much leaning into this particular aesthetic. Which is overall, okay. Like, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's clearly leaning into Pulp, and the same idea as I was saying of Pulp having this kind of specific reality that is described by this kind of pseudo steampunky thing, and I don't hate pseudo steampunky at all. They are nicely okay, and we improve this now. And we'll see what happens to a sawmill when you get pseudo steampunky. It adds a thing. Which lets me do more stuff. It lets me build a wooden trap, which is just a better one. I don't have the ability to get an iron trap yet, but we will build a wooden one for the sake of capturing bigger prey. Exactly. Homages have power and implications. That's a good way of putting it, STS. It is a steam motor. Don't worry about it. Like, just we don't need to worry about it. Oh wow, these are both really good. Stew, rabbit roast, flour. The best thing to eat. Just munch on that flour. We will just actually make all of this, because God, how else am I supposed to deal with all of this problem? I'm actually going to let my food run out, I think, because it is... dang nabbit, I'm using my boards too quickly. Through Pulp, Raptorus. That's why I was talking about Conan and Pulp, because I'm not super familiar with Conan, so if people know more, definitely correct me, help me out. But some of the places that the Conan is able to go in his explorations of that, definitely not Europe, are at a much higher level of quote-unquote SpongeBob font development, which is the term that Howard would use for it, but, you know, is definitely a problematic framing for culture in general. Oh yeah, we can make beer if we had honey. You make beer as alchemy, and that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Oh yeah. Lucas loves his adventure pulps. No, you need hops and honey to make beer. because apparently IPAs are the only super hoppy beer is the only beer. I mean, yes, making alcohol is an extremely important part of alchemy, but it's distilled alcohol, typically not distilling it out of wine. In historical alchemy, not that. Hello. Oh, I need more acorns. I need 2 more acorns, and then I will be able to. Don't I need to collect? Don't I need to? Don't you have things to collect? Yeah. I guess I will punch a hedgehog. I failed to punch a hedgehog. That was going to be my go-to way of collecting. My go-to way of collecting. Oh wait, I wanted to trap that. Hello, trap, please. Give trap. Not actually where I wanted to put that, you know. Try that again. There we go. Hopefully, that means that the thing will run into it in a little bit, and it will get stuck. And then I will be able to do... Oh, my inventory is full again. Because what else is new? I'm not allowed to have nice things. Fine. The honey should stay put for a bit. Hey, it worked. I get a cockerel for my issues. I mean, that is literally either human or mutant. They're exactly the same. But you know, like that is one of Odin's ravens. So like, I think we can forgive it for being big. Anyway, Conan, because it kind of combines all of those levels of different technologies, it kind of opens the door, and other pulp does the same thing. It's not like Conan has a monopoly on it, but it is the most influential by far. But it opens the door to trying to interpret and understand to try words to other media to interpret the Vikings through that same lens. That was what I was trying to say. And so it is influential in a very specific non-historical interpretation of what it means to be a Viking and what it means to do Viking stuff. It is not an intrinsically good or bad one, it simply is. But that influence does come with consequences, and it means that alongside all of this aesthetic stuff, is the idea that certain cultures function in a certain way, and that way is inflicting great amounts of violence. And that, you know, that is the way you do. Vikings are barbaric because, you know, barbarians have horned helmets. Vikings have horned helmets. Therefore, Vikings are barbarians. Which, you know, is not an... To be honest, it's not an unreasonable bit of logic. It is just also happens to be one that is not right. Oh, I was going to let myself run out of things so I could show you what happens when we die. Because I've been doing a good job on not dying. And it is... almost unfortunate. Because I couldn't show you what happens when we do die, if I'm too good at not dying. Also, you know, stealing bees' hives for their honey has no consequences whatsoever. Oh, well, that takes us out to the main location. I need to die first, and then I will go out to the main location. We will see how that goes. Yes. Definitely casually ignoring a whole lot of historical reality, because historical reality has no place in it because it is fantasy. Right? Because Pulp is just pure fantasy. It just coincidentally looks a lot like a very specific idea of what Europe was. Purely coincidental, has nothing to do with it. Yeah. You can see it has consequences. We'll collect the goods off of that. We will instead put in a feather so we can make feathers. And then also, can we improve this by building walls? We cannot yet build walls because we are missing twigs. And we are missing other such resources. I wonder if as opposed to the, oh, well, that worked perfectly. Thank you. I wonder if the, cockerels that give you feathers, only spawn after so many days. Because, like, we're getting close up. We're on day 5. Which means things are going to start happening. I believe it's either on day 6 or 7, we will get a horde that shows up after a certain amount of real time. Which, you know, does stuff. More hops, and then in here is an actual barrow, which, like a good barrow, actually we'll walk in here. This is another thing where it actually kind of understands its source material a little bit better. Obviously, the idea of there being a whole bunch of bad news in a crypt is not surprising. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to do damage to him because I'm not nearly strong enough. Oh, huh, maybe I do damage. Yeah, I do, like, no damage to him. So I'm just gonna leave. But while obviously the guy guarding that crypt is ridiculous, the idea that there is someone, or the idea... Oh, that's a wolf. No, thank you. The idea that someone guarding the crypt would be undead, as not just coming out of Skyrim, that is actually a pretty well-attested thing as far as well-attested things in... the Norse Corpus go. It is a traditional heroic endeavor to go forth and murder the hell out of revenants in burial mounds. That is super well attested. Hervarar Saga does it, wherein... That's the... yeah. I still don't have a cone fungus. Shame. I also don't have enough acorns, somehow. Don't know how, but I don't. I don't think this tree will drop acorns, you know? I'm not 100% confident, but I just have a feeling. But it shows up in a bunch of other sagas. I don't remember all of them because it's like half of the Fortnalder saga have this. Oh cool, I've got a cabbage seed too. I can make cabbages. The idea of having a revenant inside, guarding the crypt, and doing stuff is totally legitimate, and I actually like. So, you know, this game doesn't do all things bad. It at least sometimes has an awareness of where it is coming from. And actually tries to reference the mythology sometimes in ways. Cool, I got a rabbit in it. And more of those. And another wolf. I should run away. Actually, I'll get hit by the wolf once just to show you how badly wolves hit. Swings for 16. I cannot take very many hits when I do 4 to it. So yeah, wolves are scary in this game. This is a trope you see a whole lot in like medievalist or medieval aesthetic media, where wolves are these big, hulking, scary things that you should be frightened of. I mean, wolves are huge, and if 101, you're not likely to do super well against a wolf. But at the same time, actual attacks by wolves on people were pretty exceptionally rare in the Middle Ages. Most people would likely not ever see a wolf, much less be actually in danger from one. And yet it is like that struggles. Wolves, as this embodiment of nature, become like the ultimate example of struggling for survival, which is a... Oh wait, I need to go over here for it, not there. Because I do have some copper, so I can... I'm going to go into the mine and kind of burn down the rest of my... Come on. What? Interesting, I didn't think I had that many. Oh, I don't. Okay. I'm gonna make... no. I will make one of these, though. Because these are actually super useful. They're strong. And we need more weapons to do stuff. But mainly what I wanted to do was to go to here and make a copper axe. Or copper pick, sorry. Space. Craft. Crude. Copper pick. There it is. So that I can burn out the... I can go into the mine. And I can use the rest of my stamina so I can die. It's a great plan. Yeah. Wolves are just not a... Wolves are scavengers. I mean, they will take sheep. Because of course they will. They are hunters. But... There's a reason why the trope is that they would show up in battle and know... And... kind of be a symbol of that. Because... Yeah. They would be. That may be the only time someone actually sees them, and even then, I feel like it's a little bit more, trying to feel that way, rather than actually, necessarily, oh, well, inventory's still full. Doesn't matter, we're trying to die. We have 17 stamina left to kill, and once we kill it, we'll be, well on our way to death. I could also just stand in the poison, and that would probably kill me pretty quick too. But I'm at a lot of HP for that, so we'll see which one I burn down faster. Poison is really scary in this game because it does like 3 and there's nothing you can do about it. It just ruins you, and you have to kind of take that L. Oh, I need to go this down and then across. But yeah, well, wolves are definitely scary. Yeah, potentially. Necra, I think it might also have to do with the man's almost need to find similarity. Wolves have an efficient community to hunt and survive, which compared to human communities, which at some points really struggle to even get along, much less work together and survive. I would dispute this to some extent in that I would say humans are generally a lot better than we sometimes want to give them credit for at engaging with each other in a... Oh, shop stocks have been updated. Day 6 begins. Awesome. Interesting. Come on, 6 left. But humans overall are okay at communicating and enduring. And well, communities, like 2 wolf packs competing over the same territory don't get along any more than 2 human communities who have socialized each other as other get along. So it's not like that is... It's not like they are fundamentally amazing. Oh, cool. Okay. What does starvation do? Okay, I just lose health faster. Boring. Absolutely boring. I will have to find poison and stand in it. There's no poison down here. I was hoping there would be poison down here. Let's see, is there any... There's poison over this way. Okay. We will burn down all of our health and then we will be okay. Oh, if I get more carp mushrooms, I get more stuff. Yeah, and... I mean, humans are also really good at, like, coming together to survive things. Humans are complicated, and it's not just humans are bad at getting along, wolves are good, therefore wolves are scary. There is something else going on with that. And I don't... While wolves occupy a lot of medieval cultural ideas of wolves being a threat, it is definitely interesting that it is the medieval argument that wolves are terrible, rather than the actual historical reality of how dangerous wolves were, that ends up being significant. I know, it's so boring. Hello? What a great death. Interesting, we dropped stuff. Why did we drop stuff? Oh, because we were inside our own workshop, we dropped stuff. Anyway, when you get killed, you notice I just lost about 40 health and a little bit of stamina. And we got this mark that says, yep, a lot of ideas about wolves come from poorly conducted experiments from the 20th century. So it is down there. We're gonna go find that stuff because I'm pretty sure I just dropped... Yeah, I dropped a couple of things that I want back. So we're gonna get them back. Like, the idea of there being alpha and beta wolves is complete nonsense. Like, even the guy who created the idea acknowledges that it is wrong because it's from wolves in captivity, and it just does not... It doesn't describe reality. It just doesn't. And that is a worthwhile thing to be aware of, is a lot of these ideas on how wolves work, and therefore on how humans work, is not based in much of anything. Oh, I have no money. Why do I have no money? Why do I have no money? You apparently lose all your money on death, which is not great. And you can see my castle is under attack, and it is getting hurt, and I have no way to get out there to deal with it. So we're at a far enough point that people will come in from other parts of the world to attack us. Yeah, I know it's been heavily damaged. I'm trying to get out, and you didn't freaking let me. Need to go this way. Luckily, we will still make it out because it's not going to be too much of a problem. I'll be at about 20% health, castle health, but I will be okay, even with that. And this will be a pretty decent spot to wrap up after I kill this guy, because, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to swap that out for that, because that's a lot stronger. And hopefully they don't do damage while we are busy doing stuff. Oh yeah, Wolf's Head Helmet is awesome. Or stuff. And we just kind of wail at each other. We've got the guy here, who is Bjorn, and he's at half health, and he is our enemy. Who he is, I don't know, but he's an enemy. Actually, I think he's one of the guys that spawned in. He is critting me a lot, and I am not doing a lot of damage to him. But luckily, I have a lot more health, and I do have healing items, and he doesn't. Oh boy, fun and engaging combat. Look at me spamming this F button that says attack. And yeah, everything just breaks. I'm just losing all of my oomph as this happens. But luckily, I seem to be hitting him a lot more than he is hitting me, and so overall, I'm doing okay. But yeah, all of my armor just breaks because a guy happened to show up. And yeah, I just lost my helmet. You know, the one that I worked really hard to get. Just gone. Poof. I do win this fight because obviously 80 health versus 30. But yeah, enjoyable combat mechanics. Oh yeah, I went through an entire weapon doing that. That's why I now have a chance to stun him. But I went through an entire weapon to kill him, and all of my armor. And even then, he just crit me, so I nearly lost all of my oomph, and my very low % chance of critting him. And for all of that effort, I get a thing? Do I even get a thing? I might not even get a thing. Give me something, please. Q? No? Do I not get anything off of him? Truly? Genuinely? You did this to me? It gave me nothing. He gave me nothing for all of my effort. Oh, inventory is full again. Fine, I'll do that, and then I can pick up the thing. Hey! Look at that. The Horde is coming. Warriors stay warriors even after death. All fallen in Niffelheim, all fallen in Niffelheim warriors are desperate for blood and revenge for their suffering. Prepare to defend your castle, make sure to build towers and craft enough shells to survive the attack, not becoming another bodiless spirit in these lands. What? Why is the... Oh, right, because I need to do that in order to free up the inventory. And yeah, so all of that effort gave me literally nothing. Usually they drop an item. Let's see if I actually did drop an item. Nope, he did not even drop an item. Sometimes they do drop one. One piece of stuff for all of that effort. And yeah, so what we're gonna get for our struggles here is, well, we build walls. They have to take out these walls first because they actually do exist, even though they don't look like they exist. And then we can improve it again and add towers. And then we can improve it again and give the towers arrows. Yeah, so super engaging combat, core systems of the game are good, and it is totally worth it. The horde that is coming is actually just more skeletons. Like, that's all it is, it's just more skeletons. So it is not worth our time. We're not going to stick around to let that happen. Anyway, we will instead go to the main map here. So, this is where we are. We could travel to any of these other locations, or we could travel to here. It cost us gold to go to there, though, and because we died, we lost all of our material. So, well-designed game. It punishes you for dying incredibly hard for no obviously discernible reason. And you have to go dungeon crawling in order and kill things in order to in order to be able to get enough gold to play the game. But if you go dungeon crawling, you run into a giant spider and you die, and that's it. Because that's it. So, good game, I think. But it should be clear, I think, from all of this, is that in some ways this is about as traditionally, like, pop culture, Wagnerian, Pulp, Viking as you can get. And what I wanted to illustrate from this, I'm about to call it a stream here, I think, because I'm not going to stop. If I stop in 10 minutes, that's Rise of the Horde arrives, and, like, come on. That'll be right when I get busy. So why don't I actually just head over to our throne so we can lounge on it, feasting from our enemies and their skull mace and our skull chalices and skull everything. Skull literally everything, and talk. So, even in this game, which leans so hard into this Conan Pulp Viking-y aesthetic that has been traditionally influential, we are seeing relics and hints of a deeper understanding of the corpus and of what that corpus actually means. So, for instance, earlier in the stream when we went and talked to the woman who wanted bread, it just calls her a beggar, but she is clearly a Vilva, a seeress, and is therefore incredibly important for our understanding of the world and its story, as is the traditional mythological role of the seeress as seen in, Völuspá, giving the history from the creation, which she remembers from her childhood, all the way through to visions of the end of the world at Ragnarok and beyond. We also saw deeper things in the crypt being guarded by a revenant, even though the revenant is controlled, has like super horned helmet thing and is a skeleton. Still, the idea of there being a malevolent spirit guarding a treasure that a hero justly should go and overcome is very much a myth feature in Norse legends in the legendary saga corpus. We had Hugin and Munin appear, and we saw references to Beasts of Battle in the name of the groups here, though it does lean into the idea of there being, clans that are named after specific things, which is a complete fabrication, but, so be it. We also saw with the Berserker ideas of being tied to Odin and being a social outcast, both of which are present in the Norse literary material. And so even within this, there is room for negotiation. That's pretty cool to me. And it's something that we need to keep in mind with everything, every single game that I play on this channel. Is one thing I want to emphasize and kind of explore is, what does that negotiation look like? What things get negotiated, what things don't get negotiated, and what influences come from where, and are we seeing those assumptions being challenged, and that the things it pays homage to, is it also critiquing them, challenging them, complicating the narrative in some way? Some games definitely do. Some games are really interested in kind of referencing that. Even this game does, when it is drawing on its Kingdom influence with the whole genre and the side-scrolling with day-night survival mechanics. It looks exactly like Kingdom Classic. I haven't tried New Lands, but it looks exactly like Kingdom Classic with the two buildings, and then the one that you upgrade, and then the walls around it that you have to protect against waves of enemies. It looks exactly like that, and you know, it uses that to reference the fact that, you know, you're doing more things than just fighting. You have chicken coops, and you have vegetable gardens, and you have a sheepfold, and you can grow things, and do that in a really kind of meaningful sense, with that has mechanical influences, and mechanical impacts, I should say. So, you know, that's cool. That's, in some way, uses a genre to challenge its own narrative. And that should be celebrated, because it is a good thing. Unfortunately, it also kind of inherently draws, by paying homage to some things, it gives itself a responsibility to, in some way, challenge its narratives that are based in nationalist discourses and white supremacist discourses, and I don't think it does that with its rather kind of very stock shield maiden, complete with boob window, and even with its shaman and its berserker and its Viking all having this very specific aesthetic, which, by the way, the character aesthetic looks more like the Vikings TV show, a little bit more modern set of influences than the background art and all of these skulls and horns. So, in some ways it totally fails at challenging it and creating a more diverse understanding of the Middle Ages and of Norse people as more than just violent. And it's significant that your primary mode of interaction in this harsh environment is committing slaughter on everything that stands near you. And then drinking beer, which is a critical component of existing in reality. Enjoy that beer. The game also obviously has some issues of playability related to budget, but, you know, I'm not going to critique those too hard, because I think questioning things based on the actual history and the arguments it is making and failing to make is a lot cooler, in my mind, and is much more the point of the show. So this must be Munin, because he's remembering things. But no. No. This is made up. In ancient times, before the 9 worlds existed, there was a spring here by the name of Boiling Kettle. The eternal cold around it turned water into ice, but the spring didn't freeze, and, you know, this actively contradicts the Prose Edda, so, you know, for sometimes it's like, you know, we hint at having a deeper understanding, and then other times you have this. As you do. Sometimes it just is a consequence of what you're doing, and I think sums it up quite well. You know, some of this a little bit has an idea of a really nuanced understanding of, or at least an existent understanding. I won't go so far as to say nuanced, but in existing and somewhat sophisticated understanding of the Norse Middle Ages, and then other times it actively contradicts our sources for no obvious reason. I actually don't know what the reason to do that would be. But as Munin flies off, and we have 5 minutes left before the Horde comes, I shall leave this stream here. I mean, there isn't an executive in this game, Dragonwolf. Like, this game is made by a tiny, tiny studio. So there isn't really a thing. Something like AC Valhalla, you can definitely look at executive meddling and a fairly pervasive directorial culture that is problematic AF. And if you've been on the OSP Discord, you would have heard Rant Holla, as I get genuinely mad about some of those things, because it's infuriating. And this game does it a little bit too, by leaning so hard into the pulp and the ideas that Vikings were brutal. It ends up feeding off of nationalist discourses that were co-opted repeatedly and gleefully by white supremacists, and does nothing to deconstruct them. The games do not have to do that. There is not necessarily an obligation for a game to do that, just even as much as I would like it to. It is a game. They can make what game they want. They do not have to take a strong moral stance. But it would be nice if they did. And I think even in a game like this, there is room to do more by making it more than just basic spam attack, slaughter everything in sight. There would be room for that, even in a game where you are literally trying to plow through the land of the dead after having gone through a ship burial, something that is poorly to not... it's attested in Ibn Fadlan and in Baldur's funeral in the Prose Edda, and that's it. And so, like, ship cremation burials of the kind of the Viking funeral that this whole thing starts on, not really a thing. But, actually cycling back to the very beginning and the very first words of the opening video, I think is a good place to end it. This game I don't think was interested in challenging it because it did fundamentally phrase the Viking reality as kind of a clash of civilizations when it used the word. It called the voyage to Ausgarðr the Last Crusade. And when it does that, and it feeds into narratives of attaches itself to crusading language and crusading history, it does kind of invite that clash of civilizations, and the idea that this is a fundamental part of the identity is ultraviolence. And the fact that is the hero, that is the good thing, you are celebrated for doing that better than everyone else, is something that is worth thinking about, even though it can and often does make for a fun game. It's worth thinking about what are the consequences of that. So, with that, I'm going to leave it off for the day. Thank you all so much for watching. We've had pretty good attendance on this whole stream, which I've been incredibly grateful for, even though this is a very deeply non-historical game. And so I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, do follow me on Twitter and join the Discord server if you have not already. Let me find and give you guys the link for that. The link is in chat. So do look at joining there and following me on Twitter. And if you want to support this channel and this show, follows and subscriptions help a whole lot. Subscriptions are only $5 a month. I get half of that, but given that I will have to upgrade my rig before I'm able to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla and absolutely lose my mind for many hours in front of you guys, chipping in to help support that if you want to see that is super appreciated. There's never an obligation to. I certainly only subscribe if you can afford it, but any support you can give is incredibly appreciated to help make this show possible and help make it better with more new games, more fancier games, and better research, better production quality, better everything. So, yeah. As I said, subscriptions are $5 a month. If you have Twitch Prime, then you get one free subscription per month. It doesn't automatically renew, but you get one free subscription a month, and I get paid the same either way. But if you don't want to give Amazon money, which is totally fair and reasonable, there's also a direct donation link on the page. So, anyway, having done the obligatory self-marketing, I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day and that you enjoyed this stream. And yeah, this was Niffelheim, spelled very strangely. Bye-bye, everyone.